Yeah, hey, yeah. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. HEX, crypto big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. HEX, crypto big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit.
Man, thank goodness.
To justify what the hell we're doing here, man.
He's phony, she's fake. That's the type of people I hate.
Yo, y'all know the lyrics. Come on, sing with me. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yeah. The mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural charge, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the dog.
Man, it's unwrecked. Thank goodness.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG here with Jexa and Tangent on a Tuesday evening in Australia. What's going on? PulseChain has launched. The bridge has launched. We've been waiting for 2 fucking years for this shit, and all of a sudden, it's live. What's happening, guys?
It's a little bit surreal, isn't it?
It's hard to believe.
Yeah. Yes.
In retrospect, does it even feel like it's been 2 years though?
Longer.
Has the times bothered you? Has it?
Way longer.
I don't know. Maybe
longest 2 years of my
life.
life.
I've aged more than 2 years. I've definitely aged more than 2 years.
Yeah, we're talking in clock time or bio time. Like,
oh mate, for me it's like dog years.
Yeah. That was
but,
very.
Hey, there are going to be some people who are tuning in right now for the first time, and I just want to let you know that PulseChain is a fork of Ethereum. Whatever ERC20 tokens you have on Ethereum, you now have a copy of those tokens as from the 10th of May. That's when the fork happened. You have a copy of those tokens on PulseChain. So you can all you have to do is go into your MetaMask, change the chain settings. So change the network.
Do PulseChain.com and then click add to MetaMask, so you don't even have to manually add them.
Exactly. That's what you need to do. And that just adds the network, and then you're on PulseChain instead of Ethereum. But you're going to find PRC20s instead of ERC20s in your wallet. And you can go and trade, but you're going to need some Pulse. And that is the thing that I think needs to be addressed, doesn't it? We need like a faucet or something. It needs to be a faucet.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
well, there have been some... Sorry, you go, Jackson.
I was going to say, yeah, I've helped a few people out personally, just sending them enough just to get that first trade through. And yeah, there's also another group of people that there was one group of people got involved in the SAC, and that was fine. They're okay. Some missed out on Pulse, but got the PulseX SAC. They've got a bit of an issue. And then we've got other people that loaded the boat with HEX, waiting for the copy to come over so they could ratio trade their HEX, but got caught out. So we had to set up like a little honesty pool where we said, like, we'll just send you some gas and you send it back to the pool. And it's the only way we could get people on board. And
that's so smart. I never even thought of that. I saw benevolent whales just giving Pulse away for the first transactions and other people selling small amounts of Pulse. But I never thought of that. An honesty system where you say, look, this is going to be a pooled thing. We're going to send you some Pulse from it. And then when you just send the same amount back so that we can keep giving it out to more and more people. That's really cool. And if someone dogs it, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, that's right. It's not a huge amount of money. And if you're that kind of person, then you can't account for that. But what we've actually found out, so there was one other person in this group that went ahead and set one up by themselves first of all. And when they were sending out Pulse, they just said, just send back what I've sent you. And people were sending back like twice the amount and things like that. So just doing the right thing and
paying it forward.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I've heard many really nice stories of other people doing similar things. Nothing as clever as that in terms of the replayability. Other people were basically just like handing shit out.
Yeah. Yep. So it all just goes around and everyone's happy. Everyone gets what they need.
Speaking of that, I've got some good news for day 43, which is related to this, because I was on a Twitter space saying I think there would be more people, including myself, that would be willing to gift people Pulse if there was a way to do it so you're not doxing your addresses or like one or more of your addresses. And we found that Hurry Cash claims that their mixing service is now working for PLS. So it's ipfs.hurrycash.com. I haven't actually used it yet, but they claim that it's operational.
Yep. Yeah, I was fortunate. When I was trying to send some Pulse out, I was sitting there racking my brain going, okay, if I send this out, I'm going to dox an account here. And then I found an account and I went, hang on, why has this got so much Pulse in it? It wasn't a huge amount, but it had a bag in there. It must have been one of those accounts where I was just creating an account just to do a sacrifice from an extra wallet. So it's never been used.
Oh, in case there was an airdrop that wasn't pro rata. I did that as well.
Yeah. So it was one of those that I jagged and went, okay, cool. I can just gift it a little bit without, because that was my biggest concern, was doxing wallets and things like that.
Exactly.
It goes to show you that, like, we've been waiting for 2 years, and I don't think I heard anyone bring this up as a potential, like, I'm not going to say problem, but like just a potential hiccup along the way.
Correct.
We've been like, brainstorming for 2 years basically, and this never came up. And
something that should be so obvious. Something that should be so obvious.
That's what
the thing about the thing about PulseX, right, is if you sacrifice for PulseX to save people from having any trouble with gas, they actually airdropped everyone who sacrificed for PulseX one Pulse. So the expectation was that transactions were going to be less than the Pulse. You'd be able to do heaps of transactions with the Pulse. But it just goes to show you how unbelievably, like, how popular this chain is. Like, it's so popular. It's crazy. I mean, PulseX 10 billion. I've got a website here called PLS Burn, and I was just checking it out before. 10 billion PulseX have already been burnt in the last like two or 3 days. It's insane. It's so popular. This chain. So popular.
Just on that, the was it free? What are they called? Free Pulse IO. That was this
IO. Yeah, it's not working. I don't think.
No, it's not working. But that was their intention. Where they were going to be a faucet, but the gas fees just shot that idea to pieces. So it wasn't tenable. So yeah, I think it was thought of from that regard, but I think no one expected the gas fees to just be up where they are this high for so long.
And we should clarify, gas fees are they're still very, 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 very in dollar terms, very cheap. Like, I don't know how much they are. They're cents. They're not even dollars. They're cents. If even that, they're very low.
But the prices are, which is something we need to discuss, but the prices are not real. They're not real yet. Like, even though I know they are now actually bridged and linked and stuff, these prices are fake as fuck. Like, they're not.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say fake. They're just they're not realistic in representing a true free market, because the demand side of the equation is missing, because everyone that wants to come in and buy shit is stuck at a bottlenecked bridge. So you're not seeing the real demand that exists in the market. So these are artificially suppressed prices, not in a market manipulation way, in a just simply the technology not allowing the market to be free floating yet.
Yeah. I just want to pull, like Steve in chat there, he said bridge is a joke. You've got to understand, if you imagine, literally, let's look at this in the literal sense. You've got an island, and then you've got this massive continent on the other side of the island, and you've got a 2-lane bridge.
And
then you've got this queue.
Everyone wants to come over, and literally every person wants to come across the bridge, and you've got a freaking rowboat. You've got a freaking rowboat that you're ferrying people back and forth with. I wouldn't even call it a bridge. I'd call it a rowboat. So
there's 2 years worth of pent up energy wanting to get in. Well, a year and a half or whatever. So it was bound to be busy. I mean, I think that 100%. Once it subsides, it will be fine. It will be fine, because it's, when it launches, that's when there's all this demand. Everyone wants to get in now, like right now. There's no patience whatsoever.
Also, there is an incentive for people who can get their economic energy across first, is that these prices that are low are unlikely to stay low. So
have you put in a value to see how much moves the price though? Not many people are going to. Yeah, that's right. Not many people are going to.
That's my point. That's my point. Very few people will actually get these prices,
and not of any amount of substance.
And not If you try to go with scale, you'll actually just smash the price against yourself and pump it. Yeah. So I was literally just saying this. I was just on Crypto 7's stream. We did an emergency stream to try and dispel some of the FUD, calm people down. Talk about some of these topics that people are freaking out about, like the prices they're seeing on Dex Screener, the bridge not acting quickly, things like that. Just to hold people's hands so that they don't freak out. And that was actually one of the things that we were covering these topics.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's a shame. My screen sharing's up the shit with Restream, because it would be good to bring up some of the charts and have a little chat. So I can't actually do that, which is a bit of a bummer.
I can bring them up. What are you after? Something on Dex Screener?
It'd be worth bringing up some Dex Screener charts and just having a look at the different pairs, and the one of interest as well as the HEX pairing. That's
okay. So what do you want to see? You tell me what to type.
HEX and HEX.
HEX.
Wait, what? Does that what chain is that on?
There you go. So HEX
and HEX from Ethereum.
Yep.
Holy shit. So, bro, I didn't even know that chart existed.
It's 8 hours, and it's only 54K liquidity though.
Yeah. Now when it first started, it was 1-to-1, and now it's getting pushed about a little bit. So if you switch to price in HEX.
What the hell, man?
So that was at 1-to-1 for a while there. Now it's quite a bit of movement in there, but there's a little bit of fluctuation. I'm sure that will settle down over time. I'll just check how much liquidity. So there's 56K liquidity in there at the moment.
But this is like a percent, like as in it's saying it's like 100 to like, or it's 1.6%.
No, that's.
Oh, sorry. This is doing the auto convert into dollars. Sorry, man. So it's saying it's 1.6 cents.
No. What that's saying at the moment is for one HEX, you get 1.6 EHEX.
Yeah, no, 1.86. I'm saying when my chart first loaded up, it was trying to do it, estimating it in dollar terms. Right. So I was seeing 0.016, and I was like, wait, what? You're getting 100-to-1 ratio? Like, but it was the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So you're saying that this started off near 1, or there was a period of time in here where it was about 1-to-1, but now it's gone off peg and is nearly 2-to-1.
Yeah. So one hex. This is going to be confusing now. One HEX will get you 1.8 hex on.
Isn't that crazy? Because everyone thought the opposite was going to happen.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that the hex on Pulse, or most people thought the hex on Pulse would be the more valuable hex.
Yep. And maybe I think there's a lot of things that need to flow across this bridge. So you've got people be bridging in more hex, more stables and things like that. So it's just Wild West for a little while, I think.
Oh yeah, people be bridging.
Yeah. Got up to 20x, 20-to-1.
Yeah.
Actually, you know why? You know what?
Half an hour.
I can actually explain this. What's going on here is the exact reverse of what's happening, of why the prices of like PLS and PHEX are low on the Pulse chain. So we have an artificial scenario where one side of the demand is being held back by the bridge. So here with this particular pair, every motherfucker's got PHEX, but hardly anyone has got EHEX over here because the bridge is bottlenecking it. So right now, there's just more people who can be on that side of the trade.
Yeah.
So because right now I'm thinking that's a juicy ratio. I might go and cop some of that, but guess what? I can't, because it would require me to also come across the bridge. So for the exact same reason why PLS is like a way lower price than what it should be, in my opinion, is because it requires people to come across the bridge. So I would say I wouldn't be surprised if this ratio actually fixes itself as the bridge starts to flow better, or like with time.
Yeah, it's
way careful
too early.
With that, guys.
Yeah, and
too early.
Yeah, way too early, and really confusing in terms of USDC, the forked one and the bridged one.
Oh, people are getting wrecked, bro.
Man, that is going to fuck up a lot of people for sure.
Oh, bro. You know,
I was talking to Mayo. Earlier on about this, and he was like on the side of the road because he was driving somewhere and he wanted to do something, and we were talking about it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I'm confused by all of this stuff. I don't know what's what right now. I can't, like the block explorer wasn't giving me like some information, so I couldn't like drill down and see certain things. So I just said, I'm just like, dude, I'm just sitting on my hands right now. I'm just waiting until I have a bit more clarity,
dude,
so I can see what's going on right now. It's not going to hurt you if you go on.
Part of the reason he was pulled over was to calm me down, because I was like, what the fuck are these prices? What the fuck? Why is HEX like 1.3 cents or whatever? And he's like, yo, I'm driving at the moment. I'm like, dude, don't text and drive, obviously. So he like pulled over to talk me off a ledge. But he said he might join the stream and once he gets to his accommodation. But yeah, look.
Yeah, he said to me he's not getting to his accommodation tonight. He won't get there, but he might jump on anyway if you can make it happen.
So by the time he pulled over, he basically I had already gone and spoken to other people, and because I just hit up everyone that was in my recent DMs, like people. So I opened up my Twitter DMs, and the people who I'd conversed with most recently in either direction, I just like hit up maybe like 5 or 6 people, which included Crypto7, Mayo, being like, guys, I just woke up. What the F is going on? These prices are like completely wrecked. What the shit? And then eventually I joined a Twitter space, and Top Gun walked me through what had been happening with the bridge opening up, and then the bottlenecking and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, all good. I'm calm now. I'm calm and hyper bullish.
Yeah, my DMs haven't stopped blowing up. It's just been chaos. I got friends hit me up, people hit me up in nearly every form of messaging app I have. It's just off the rails.
Yeah, dude. Turn the phone off, bro. It's the easiest way. No, I'm just kidding.
It's great. It's crazy. So I'm just, while we're talking, someone in chat just asked, has anyone bridged any funds over? So I'm just speaking to a guy now, and he started a bridge. Let's see. It was pretty much straight after it launched. So yeah, around 10 o'clock this morning, he'd done that, and I just messaged him then, still hasn't hit. So there's a lot of funds sitting in that bridge.
You know, I think I noticed that Fatty IO is not showing dollar prices on the PulseChain stuff yet, and I don't know whether that's deliberate or they just haven't got round to it. But I'm glad, because I think these prices are not worth demonstrating yet.
No, for me, it's more of it's an academic thing. It's just interesting to watch how it all unfolds. I wouldn't be acting on any of this, and if you think you're getting the deal of a lifetime, just hold 5 and just understand what's going on, because there's usually massive slippage, or you've got the wrong token address or something silly like that. So
yeah.
And again, you may just jag the deal of a lifetime. There's been a few of those already.
Yeah, true as well.
Okay, so
was there anything else that you wanted to look at pair-wise on the pairs?
Yeah, what I say. So 9 hours, 28 minutes, still sitting in the bridge. Contract says that
I didn't realize that these pairs already exist for these bridge assets. That's brilliant. You guys are dropping alpha in here.
So what else have we got? Let's see what else is interesting. I
mean, is there a bridged ETH?
Yeah, so there's WETH/W Pulse. So if you want to see.
Damn.
So WETH. Do WETH first. And then /W Pulse. Yep.
It's only got
I've
1,700 liquidity. I wouldn't even bother with that.
Yeah, no, they're all like that. They're all really, really low.
And that's why I didn't see them, because I rank mine by like trading volume and liquidity when I'm looking at the pairs. So they would have been like right down, like I'm 5 pages deep.
Yeah, so I basically grabbed the contracts that Richard had posted, and that's what I searched for in Dex Screener, and just found them that way, and just found the pairs that were set up.
Yeah, interesting shit.
All right.
By the way, notice that PulseX is just absolutely dominating, as expected, on
Pulse,
where all the volume and activity is.
Yeah, is there? I don't even know if there any other dexes alive and kicking. I don't know if 9-inch was up.
Yeah, Hexy Bastard did 9-inch. I don't know if it's operating yet. There's this one in here that's just, it says unknown dex. Like, have you seen that one where it's just an unknown? It's an unknown dex. I'm like, how can it be an unknown dex?
That's in Dex Screener.
Yeah, so if you go on Dex Screener, if you just look down the list, the only one you'll see that's not PulseX will be this question mark, and it's just it's listed as an unknown dex. So I don't know what that is.
Don't know. No. Wrap.
Because you'd think the community would have announced if there's somewhere else. Like the volume on one of these pairs is actually quite high for this unknown dex. It's got HEX with USDC. Wait, that
sure that's not 9?
You
sure that's not
9-inch?
Because I reckon that's 9-inch because there's a PP pair on it.
Okay, it must be 9-inch. So maybe Hexy Bastard needs to get into contact with Dex Screener and be like, yo, or maybe there's a form he can fill in or some shit to tell them what.
Yep. And so
Yeah, good,
while we're doing that,
good spotting with the that was almost certainly 9-inch then.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh, this might be. See, some of these price charts, I think they are the ones that people are posting where it's an asset just going to the moon. I think it's the USD. It's the copied stables that are getting wrecked. Is that right? Because on here, PP looks like it's going to the freaking moon against USDC.
Yeah.
But that'd probably be the fake USDC, yeah?
More than likely, yep. And just so for a little bit of an update on the validator side of things, we've got 628 validators that are sitting in the queue waiting to come online. So it takes, I put all my deposits in late last night. So it takes about 24 hours or so for that to kick in, a bit over 24 hours before you can actually get your validator up and running. So
I
we'll
hear
see
that
another
the
wave of
validators
those
are printing money.
I think it's like a 40% APY at the moment. I haven't checked recently, but yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's crazy. I can't get mine up fast enough.
Here's an important site for everyone to know about, which has been, it's revoke.cash is now has PulseChain as an option in the drop down. So that means you can go and revoke permissions in your wallet for PulseChain, which is excellent, something that was very much needed. That's revoke.cash.
Wait, have you guys used cointools.app?
On
that one, they've already supported PulseChain, and they have all the revoke shit you can do, and they've even got like a revoke all function. Wait, have I got that website wrong? Let me just confirm that. Oh, sorry. It's not CoinTools. It's CoinTools singular. So cointool.app. And that they've got PulseChain supported for all of their tools. And it's too much for me to list here. They've got like a batch sender. They've got revoking access. They've got like launching tokens, airdrops, fucking everything. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of, if you click on,
is there multi-send just for Pulse, or is it for any PRC?
All chains, all EVM chains, all. Oh, sorry. You mean yeah, bro. Like any token, any it's like on any token, any chain, bro. Like their tools are sick. And they're adding shit all the time. I'm really happy that they supported PulseChain. You can basically click over on the left-hand side, about 4 from the top. There's one that says Chain Tools. And if you go there's a drop-down list at the top. You can select PulseChain. And then that shows you all the tools that are available for PulseChain. And it's like an entire page full of tools. You can do batch selling on OpenSea. You can do NFT multi-sending. You can do like crazy shit. Like you can create tokens, create NFTs. It's just like everything that you could possibly want to do. There's only one thing they don't have, which I hope one day they have. Maybe it's just not practical, is I want a decentralized dust sweeper. So for any of you that have used Binance or KuCoin or those sorts of exchanges, when you've got small balances, you can sweep the dust. Like single button, it just sells all your dust amounts into it's usually their exchange token that it sweeps it into. But I would love something where, a bit like how you can just go revoke all, and then it just brings up every single one, and you just go click, 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 and it just revokes all the access. I just want like sweep dust, where it just looks at every token that you've got shit all of, and it just sells it into like ETH or Pulse.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
You'd need it's just not tenable to do it on ETH at the moment, though, is it?
True. But they could do it on Pulse. They could do it on all the other chains. I think the difficulty is actually not the fees. I think it's like, for it to assess that it's dust, it needs to understand the dollar value. And a lot of the shit that you've got in your wallet is just these fucking dusted scam token, airdrop shit, stuff that's gone nearly to zero. So it would be very hard for them to curate and work out what what should be included, and it's just I think it's probably too hard basket at the moment, but hopefully one day.
Yeah. Sorry, I told you a bit.
Here's a question from someone in the chat. Why is there a fake USD in the bridge?
In the bridge? How do we know that?
Not in the bridge. Not in the bridge. Just on the chain.
I mean, it's not fake. It's just
on the chain. Yeah.
Oh, actually, anyone could have
a copy of the.
I'm saying that anyone could have created a fake one as well. So,
like, look, there's fake. Like most of stuff in crypto is just fake.
Yeah,
shit.
there's fake everything everywhere.
You need to put it this way: with crypto, you need to whitelist contracts rather than just assuming that everything's good.
Yeah,
you need to whitelist the stuff that is good. So a good start. I think Richard Hart has started posting contracts which we can trust are the contracts, token contracts, or on his Twitter. So go check out Richard Hart's Twitter. I know he's been tweeting up a storm in the last few hours. Maybe not so recently, but maybe 4 or 5 hours ago, he was doing lots of tweets. Worth reading, especially in the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. So I told you a lie with the validators. We currently have 7,753. Now we think about 4,000 of those are core dev validators. Out of that, active is 686,878. And so we've got a few pending, 862 pending to come online. So that's pretty impressive for a couple of days. That's about nearly 4,000 community validators.
Hey, KDP actually mentioned something important in my Twitter space, saying Richard and the dev team could have just spun up like what most chains do. They just spin up the initial nodes all in one server. Like they'll just go AWS or something like that, and then there's a centralized point of failure that people don't really know about. The PulseChain dev team put the initial core nodes spread out geographically all around the world, like best practice for censorship resistant. They didn't have to do that shit. Because they could have said, look on Twitter how much of the community members from all around the world are going to have nodes. We're going to get geographic distribution regardless. We don't need to do it. Let's just start it off on our own like server or whatever. And it's all good. But they actually went to the effort of creating, and they did that burn function where they burnt how they did the burnt, they linked the validators to a burn address. So though proving that those validators are not there for profit, they are there for network stability, because all of the fees earned get burnt. And I think even if the validator stake ever gets withdrawn, I think it also goes to that burn address. So it's like
no, that's not true. No.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. I was about to say that part I'm not 100% sure on.
Yeah.
So it's just for the rewards.
Yeah, you set two different things. You set a fee address where your fees go in like a tip jar, and then you have a withdrawal address as well. So they don't have.
But at least this demonstrates that, or they might have set both those addresses to the burn address. I'm not sure, but the point is there was a clear demonstration of geographic, like a care factor for censorship resistance, and a demonstration that it's not for profit.
Yeah, I don't know whether they've set the withdrawal address to a burn address. I don't think it wouldn't make sense, but if they wanted to, they could easily, for sure.
Okay, there's a comment here from Alan, or a request. Would you be able to show people the APR on LP pools so everyone knows how nice the yield is right now? Where do I go? Is it PulseX?
I think it's too early, man. Like there's only one.
I haven't even checked. Have a look, mate. Yeah, I haven't even looked.
Look, the incentive token, token value pumped, like it's like $11 or some shit. It's just, I mean, one sec. I'll turn my camera off. I'll turn around and go to a computer where I can get this answer.
Oh, hang on. I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Is this right?
I can't even see that.
LPs. No, this is LPs to burn.
Yeah, no, you'd have. Yeah, I'm not even sure where you'd go at the moment. Is it under liquidity, maybe? Or no. Under the little hamburger menu there at the top, is there? You got info? Maybe it's on.
Hamburger.
Yeah, your little triple. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Calls. Liquidity. Here we go.
Click on one of those. See what happens.
Too hard basket.
Yep.
Yeah, not sure. Don't know about that one.
I also couldn't be effed. Like as in it was harder to calculate than I thought. Like as in I thought it would be an easy thing, but I haven't been keeping good records yet.
LP rewards APR. Yeah.
Okay. The go back.
Ooh, look at this. Oh, but these are fake, aren't they?
Yeah. Wait,
That's not the real.
Where's that?
Yeah.
It's in PulseX under info. Pools.
Oh, so he's not talking about the incentive token earned off the farm. He's talking about just what
providing LP.
Oh yeah,
LP,
I wouldn't trust these numbers. Like even I'm saying even once everything calms down and the bridge is all fully open and all that stuff, even that these sorts of numbers can fluctuate massively day to day. So it's not.
And what you got to be. So can you bring up the PulseX pool there, mate? I'm assuming that would have the most volume.
This is like 12,000 trillion%. What the hell?
Because it'd be interesting to see.
PulseX. Where is PulseX? Where is that?
What is this T%? Is this trillion%?
Where? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it must be. What I was going to say would be while you're still digging through it, if we can.
PulseX.
Weird.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is showing all the volumes as
zero.
Liquidity.
We're dealing with weirdness right now.
Yeah. So this
weirdness.
So on that one, and what you got to understand is that's the main pool where people are providing liquidity, because that's obviously the ratios are pretty stable. Least amount of risk in that one if you want to collect the fees, and there's obviously a lot of trading going on that pool. But as a participant in there, how much of the pool do you actually own? That would be the question.
I don't think PulseX is recognizing dollars yet.
No, I'd be surprised if it is. I think, and even if it is, it's
easy.
Yeah.
All these transactions in the last 20 minutes.
This is cool though. I'm learning different shit that I didn't realize was here from you guys talking about this stuff. Oh, this has got wrapped Ethereum being only worth like $980. How come this has got prices but the other shit didn't? What the fuck? Man, I think I reckon maybe don't even try and look at this shit until the stuff is like legit, because this is all busted. And
hey guys,
not the fault of PulseX, by the way.
I just want to shout out to everyone in the chat right now. We've got a lot of regulars in there, a lot of new people as well. Make sure you smash the likes, please. Smash the likes, and if you can, share it on Twitter so we get some more people, because we're almost at 300. It would be nice to get over that 300 mark on the live stream watching.
So it sounds like Alan's been doing some LPing, and I'm just trying to decipher what he's saying here. So about 1 Inc, Pulse, and PulseX Farm for 1 million Pulse. What is that making sense? So you've LP'd 1 million Pulse. Is that right? And you're getting one.
It might
chuck in a little bit more details, mate.
Yeah. I think he's talking about like when you put the LP in, when you put it into the farm, you get like points. You know how it like the points that represent your share of the pool. So you might even be talking about 1 million of those like LP points. And you see what I'm saying? So you need what you really need to do. We need. I think we need dollar values that are reliable so that you can start to talk about this shit because it's just.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how
it
does the. I'm not familiar enough to know how they calculate the APYs on those pools, whether they take it back to dollars or what.
Yeah, they do. They convert to dollars. Yeah. So yeah, I think the answer to this question is don't bother trying to look at this shit until the numbers are actually stable and legitimate.
Yeah. So all the guys are saying that they're killing it on ink with the incentive just from providing a small amount of LP.
Yeah, the incentive token's like over $10.
Oh, actually, because that
per one.
You know, the interesting thing with that is it mints 1 a second, and it can only go to the pools that are active. So if there's
only one pool that's active. It's Pulse with PLSX. That's the only way you can earn. That's the only one you can earn it on at the moment.
Okay, so that's why that one's getting.
That's why that pool has like crazy high liquidity.
Yeah. Well, that's why it gets such good ink returns is because it's got all of it. It's not spread across any other pools.
It's all of it. Yeah. It's 100%
or any other farms, I should say. Yeah. Yep. So that.
Did you guys see the tweet earlier this week from Tristan Tate? He mentioned HEX in it. You see that?
Yep. I actually read past the fact that it had HEX in it because he typed it lowercase, and I'm not used to seeing coin tickers written with lowercase letters. So I actually didn't realize that he had mentioned HEX in that tweet, even though I read the whole tweet.
What's funny, though, is I've spoken to people that were part of the War Room group or the crypto group that is within that as well.
Yep.
And the mod in that, or the professor or whatever they bloody call them in that group, was banning anyone that talked about HEX.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Anyone that went in there and shilled HEX would get the boot sort of thing. So I don't think they were as HEX friendly as what everyone thinks they were.
Interesting. Richard Hart tweeted that he said, wait for people to actually demonstrate their like positivity towards the thing that you care about before you reward them with engagement. That's right. And I think that's what he was referring to, that people were quick to just like start retweeting and shilling his shit and saying that these guys are the best before they've actually technically, they didn't ever mention PulseChain specifically. They just said that there's an opportunity in 48 hours that is going to be like life-changing, and everyone assumed they were referring to PulseChain.
Well, look, this tweet got 2.1 million views. You know, almost 9,000 likes. He has 1.7 million followers or subscribers or whatever it is.
So it goes both ways, Tangent, as well, doesn't it? Cuts both ways. So by putting that out to his audience, and if we all got baited and engaged with it, that's fine, because their reach and what come off the back of that tweet is everyone would have seen HEX anyway. So I don't think that was a net negative, even if they choose not to friggin' do anything with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm big on the no such thing as negative publicity.
Yeah.
So, what are the? Have you seen some of these tweets from Richard Hart in the last few hours?
Yeah. I agree with you. Highly recommend everyone to go and read all his tweets. Should help you to like panic less.
What is there any that we should bring up and have a look?
I
think I've caught them all, but I went off the reservation for a little bit today, so I don't know if I've seen everything.
There's one I already interpreted on the other stream, but I'll do it again, just real quick. He said, I'm blocking so many people, right? So I interpreted that as you guys are saying such ridiculous shit that I'm not even going to respond to it. You guys are being so like frantic and like ridiculous with like the stuff that you're complaining about and the stuff that you're saying. And then he goes on to say that we don't have correct markets. We don't have, because of the bridge blockage. He said two things. He basically said people cannot get their money into this chain fast enough. Like people are trying to put their money into this chain and physically cannot get their shit over fast enough. And because of that, we don't have the correct market action. So calm the fuck down. Like stop panicking about the prices and shit. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I think that's the most.
I read that differently. I read that actually differently, and I didn't think he meant. I didn't think he meant he was literally blocking people on Twitter. I thought he meant like he was blocking people, as in maybe that's what people are complaining about, that he's blocking them from getting across the bridge.
I don't think he would say that, because that would imply that he has control over it. Like,
oh no, I mean,
right?
what I think he was saying is people are hammering him, saying, "Oh, I can't get on. I'm blocked, and like it's stuck." And I think that was the way I interpret it. But
I thought he meant I'm like actually Twitter blocking. Like,
okay, could have been. Yeah,
I guess it could. I guess it could be either.
I'm reading it
what
as
do you think, 43?
blocking. I think he's saying that he's blocking people for just being like impatient or whatever, or just. Yeah, he's because
it's not really him that's he's not the one blocking people. It's just the capacity of the bridge, right? Like, I don't think he would take responsibility for that.
Yeah, like I said, I just there was a few tweets where I just quickly read. I didn't sort of sit there and think too long and hard about it. I just seen that, wasn't sure what he was getting at.
Okay.
But everyone took it as he's blocking on Twitter, so I'm assuming that's what it was.
Just in relation to the bridge, he did say that you don't need to claim it on the. You don't have to click claim on the Pulse side. Is that correct? Did you guys read that tweet? I'm just trying to find it right now.
Yeah, I've missed a couple, obviously.
Huh.
Okay, so this was probably one of the more important tweets that he's done. And it goes to making sure that you are using the correct contracts. So this one here, and I'll post the tweet in the chat so you guys can go there and you'll see the contracts that he's referring to. These are the contract address for Ethereum tokens bridge from bridge.pulsechain.com on to PulseChain. Add the token contracts to your wallet if you want the tokens to show in your wallet. So I'm going to share that. If I can find the share button. Where's the share button? It's right in front of my eyes, I'm sure. Okay. I'll post this in the chat.
So what, you in private chat, is that what you've done?
No, I just put it in. I popped it in the actual chat for everyone watching.
Yeah. So what we haven't
I've got
seen
Mayo here. I'll bring Mayo up.
Hey, brother.
And we have 342 people watching right now. Big hello to everyone watching. Launch of PulseChain, launch of the bridge. I've got Tangent, Jexa. We've got Mayo here in the middle of nowhere. Where are you, Mayo?
Yo, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, sweet. I'm in Blackwater. Shithole.
So you had to go out and do a bit of work, did you, mate?
Yeah, back to my normal week. Away.
That's shit timing, my friend.
Yeah, I managed to catch the bridge just as I left, but on the side of the highway. Still waiting. Checking it now.
I don't think you'll be doing much. I don't think you'll be doing much out there. Your internet connection seems pretty average.
Yeah, very average. How bad am I?
You can turn off your screen if it makes it better, mate. I mean, if you think it's going to make the But look,
Okay,
just to put everything into perspective for everyone watching, you know, I know that there's always people who are upset about stuff, but I've been very relaxed and chilled about everything over the last 2 or 3 days. Seriously, we've been waiting for over a year and a half to 2 years. Like, what's in that another few days? Like, you've got to put it into perspective. Like, these guys are doing a fantastic job of giving us a new chain with all this functionality. Let's just give, let's let them get everything. It's all working really well. Everything I've tried to do has been great. So, I'm not fussed. We're just waiting for liquidity to sort itself out, which is a market thing. It's got nothing to do with the actual mechanics of how things work.
Well, what we've got, it's
fine.
I don't know if you guys have this all around the world, but we have the Boxing Day sales, and
they've got Black Friday in America.
Black Friday, yeah. So everyone lines up at the front of Myers and all the department stores, and as soon as the gates open, they all beat each other with sticks and handbags and whatever to try and get to the front of the line and get a fridge for 20% off or something like that. And it's like everyone's trying to rush. 90% off. Yeah, but there's only one fridge and fucking 500 people going for that one fridge. So
people getting trampled.
Yeah, literally people getting trampled. Just got to back off and let the crazy swarm at the big front use their handbags and get out of the way once they finish knocking each other out and come in a bit more relaxed and clean up afterwards.
Very good analogy. By the way, I just wanted to say thank you in person to Mayo for keeping me, talking me off the ledge when I woke up in a panic.
Talking you off the ledge.
I knew that something was not right. Like, I was like, this can't be right. Like, these prices cannot be right. But I just needed to hear it from other people as well, you know?
You're getting a little bit excited, were you? Or
just get some reasoning. Well, the prices that showed up on Deck Screener on the PulseChain side were just absolutely bonkers, like bonkers low.
Oh, no, I've seen the opposite as well. I've seen bonkers high where Pulse was like 6 cents or something like that. So,
oh shit,
yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd woken up at that point. I wouldn't have even. I
screenshot that one so I can.
I would have literally just gone downstairs and started partying, and then I wouldn't have even seen the dump. Like,
I wouldn't have come to work.
Have you guys seen that meme where it's from Wolf of Wall Street or what? No. I think it's Wolf of Wall Street where he's in the phone booth and he's like, "Hey boss, I'm not coming into work. Richard's launched mainnet," or something like that. It's like it's that comedy actor. He's in the phone booth. I forget which movie it's from, but it's fucking funny.
Jonah Hill.
That's it, Jonah.
Isn't it Seth's right? Oh, yeah, Jonah. Fuck.
So good.
So what else we got going on? So we know that we're getting more features on PulseX coming soon. That was one of the other tweets.
Oh,
I'm assuming that will be I think it might be the limit orders, maybe some more pools and things like that, I would imagine. But
LFG.
That's the one thing we haven't seen yet is limit orders.
He mentioned that Block Explorer was going to continue to get upgrades and fixes.
That does need a bit of work. Block Scout is just shit. It's never been.
Oh, by the way, Joe Dirt gave me an alternative that has where you can actually see more correct information about the blocks being formed.
Don't hold out, man. What is it?
Okay, I'll go and get it. 1 sec.
He's got it out in the backyard somewhere, has he?
Did you? I don't know what I missed in the show already. Have you guys seen? What was it? I think HEX versus Pulse has already gone up 360. I just saw as I got here.
Not sure about that one. We were just looking at various liquidity pools, but I didn't see that one. Did we check that one out? 43? I can't remember.
Hex versus Pulse.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, so the pulse to hex ratio, that's right.
In which way you think
Look.
the
So as
hex
far
has
as
got?
hex up. Like, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting
So
to
more
see
pulse to buy
that. So hex on the ETH chain has got a little pump. That was good to see that get a bit of a recovery. I don't know how that's still looking now, but that was definitely good to see. Let me just check it. Yeah, no, it's still up around 10% or so. So that went up about 20 or 30%, I think. Then it sort of come back, went up to, got a 29% pump, and now we're back down to about 11%. So that was good to see that sort of get a bit of recovery on the ETH chain, which is good because it gives people a little bit of confidence that I think the big wave of dumpers that were going to dump on the ETH side, I think hopefully that's done and dusted. I'm not saying that it can't still go down, but I think that big wave of people that were just the quick exit seems to have sort of found a bit of stability there. So hopefully that stays like that.
So let's have a look at that chart. Let's have a look at that chart. The because there's a fair bit of liquidity on
that we're nearly at parity, aren't we?
It went to parity and then it's kicked out again as well. It depends. Parity in terms of hex for hex or in price you're talking?
Hex to hex, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was there and then it sort of kicked out again, I think.
So we're just sitting under 3.4 cents US on Ethereum.
Yep.
That's where we're sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this, we're sitting around the 6-7 for a day or so, and then down to 5, and then we had that dump. Basically, when the when PulseChain was launched, and people had confirmation that the fork had happened.
Yep.
And then we saw this dump here on Ethereum. So Hex dumped from this 5.5 down to like 1 cent, and then recovered, and it's been sort of hovering around this 2 to 3 cent mark for about 3 days now. Which is, I mean, if that's where Hex on Ethereum now sits for the time being, that's pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Actually, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, because we still don't know where Pulse is going to be. The Hex on Pulse, and that's the one that everyone's dying to find out about. Like we all want to know where that's going to be.
Yeah. So on that same chart, the EHEX to Hex chart, that's putting the price at 2 cents, 2.1 cents.
Sorry, which chart is that?
EHEX chart.
EHEX to Hex. So
EHEX.
What did you say it's putting it at? 2.
Yes, if you go there, so 2.13 is what it's saying. It is. Now, I haven't confirmed all that, but that's what it's saying straight off the bat there. So it's a little bit less than Hex on ETH, which if you actually, that would go very close to being, so it's very close to prior to the fork sort of thing, around the 6 mark-ish. But yeah, like I said, I haven't confirmed any of that. It's just one chart.
It's catching up to Hex on Ethereum, but it's also the aggregate total of both hexes together is above 5, close to 6 cents US. So given where we've been in the last few months with 2 cent prices, 3 cent, to have like the aggregate total of both, of Hex on both chains being around that 5-6 cent mark, that's I think that's pretty good. But it is jumping around a lot. I'm just looking. Are you guys seeing
Yeah,
this?
it is. It's
It's jumping.
that's on a
it's jumping
15-minute
around a
chart.
lot.
I think you've got to give
And-
everything a number of
yeah.
days before you can come in and
It's only
make any
80
assumptions. Yeah.
Yeah, look, on the HEX USDC on Ethereum has $5.5 million worth of liquidity. This has $75,000 worth of liquidity. So it's going to jump around. It's going to jump around.
Like I said, this is all fun and to look at and speculate on, but yeah, we need a bit more stability before you'd hang your hat on any of the prices here, that's for sure.
Did you see
God,
Ivan's post?
We've hit an all-time high here.
Video?
Can I just say we've hit an all-time high? We've got 360 people watching the stream right now. That's an all-time high for the HEX Late Show. We've never done that before. It'd be nice to get to 400. Nice to get to 400. Make sure you go and share this on Twitter.
Tell your friends.
Smash the like.
And so what other charts have we got that we can have a bit of a squiz at the moment? I mean, they're all, you can look at them, but
let's have a look at, is there anything like with, let's have a look at the things on top of HEX. What about WPLS and Hedron? Is there anything there?
Is there, what would be interesting would be a Hedron HEX pair. Let me just have a look and see if we've got anything like that. An E-HEX Hedron pair, is that a thing?
Did you see? I've seen Hexagon, different topic, but I've seen Hexagon girl shared the snippet of Ivan's stream. And he was showing, and there's 70 million in liquidity or SR, wasn't it, of the bridge? Is that right?
That's how much. Is that how much is sitting in the bridge?
Yes.
I think that's how much came, didn't it? And then now it's 23 stuck there at the moment, I think.
But how much is actually, I don't know that much has actually gotten over, has it?
He made the title of the stream, Did I Get Rugged by This Altcoin? And then he basically said, he was like, you clowns need to, I'm paraphrasing here. He was like, you anons need to realize that this is the new theme park. Everyone's coming over. The shit is going to go, like, the value of the token is going to go at least into the billions. Like, as in, like, there's no chance that PulseChain won't be, like, top 10 at least. So it's like... It's a no-brainer, right? Like, as in people freaking out about what the price is like right now. It's just
it's too early, man. It's too early.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I mean, there's something to be said for people who are upset. They're like, did I really sort of get forced to hold this bag for 2 years for other people to be able to come in and buy the same price as, or better, like a better, lower price than what I sacked? But that's not the case because of what we talked about before, that if you actually try and buy it, the price is going to go through the roof.
Yeah,
so,
you got everyone's waiting out the front of the department store waiting for the doors to bust open.
Yeah.
There's
and only one person's going to get that discount fridge.
That's right. There's only one or two people that can get a fridge. So
exactly. A single entity coming in with scale or multiple small entities, and that price is just going to go straight, like, way higher.
Yeah, so that's. Have we got a way we can check what's going on the bridge?
Yeah. So what was the math? There was 70 mil came straight away, and then 20 mil is still stuck. Is that right?
I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to see whether we can actually see anything on the bridge, because
now, isn't it?
RH gave out a. Where are you seeing that from, though?
Even 70 mil is rookie numbers, bro. That's rookie numbers. Like that, there must be way more than that coming.
Where are we? HEX News. Because with that tweet that Richard put out, he put the contract for the bridge or something, didn't he? Let me have a look. Pulse Bridge. I'd really love to see how much is sitting in that contract. Let's look.
Did my before the messages that came through?
Yeah, look, I was kind of in a bit of a panicked mode when I woke up and I saw those prices, and because I messaged a few people at once, I was kind of just frantically trying to do my own research. I'm on Twitter, I'm on websites. I was like messaging people, so I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was all helpful. Like everyone basically had the same idea of being like, hey, look, like the bridge is not fully functional yet, so don't panic about the shit just yet.
Yes, I got to listen to an
analogy about a bar.
Well, Tangent, did you end up finding that better block explorer?
Yeah, sorry. But when I got back, you guys were already talking about something else. It's app.tryethernal.com/blocks.
TRY Ethernal?
Yep, TRY Ethernal.
Pop it in the chat.
They can do any EVM. I've sent it in the private chat. It can do any EVM chain. You do have to create an account, but you can use. You don't even need to use a burner address. You can literally use a fake email address that you can't even check. They don't send you a confirmation email. So in the email field, you can literally type anything if you want. Create a password, create an account, sign in, and then you just put the PulseChain RPC site in, and just when you're selecting the chain that it is, just select Ethereum because it doesn't have PulseChain as an option, but it still works, like because it's EVM compatible. The only difference is it'll have ETH as the ticker, but just ignore that and imagine it saying PLS, and it all works, and you can see the blocks being.
Spaces the other day.
So, yes, it's the one that Joe Dirt came into my spaces. Yeah. He pinned it to the top of the nest, and it works great. You can actually watch the blocks being created, and it's more real time and more accurate than the official block explorer for now.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Once the real one works properly, I'll be going back to that.
So do they? I wonder if you could hook them up to your own private RPC and just pull the data.
Oh yeah, if you've got your own node, then you don't need to do any of this shit. You can just look at your node. Oh, a good point as well. You could use something like this to look at your own node. Yes,
yeah. You can point it to your node rather than.
Yeah, I might have a little bit of a play with that later.
So you put the RPC. Is that what you're doing? Like when you say
it asks you for three things. It just asks you for the RPC. You don't have to put all the RPC shit. Just the one that looks like a web address. Like it's like that it needs
Chain
that.
ID.
The just the RPC chain URL, and for you to tell it what chain it is, which you just select Ethereum because it's the same shit, like it's EVM compatible.
That's pretty
and
cool.
There's one other input. I forget what it is. I think it might ask you for what the native asset ticket is, so you can just type PLS.
This looks all right. You can actually just run it on a Docker on your. You can self-host it on your in a Docker container.
Well, can you?
Interesting.
That's cool. I noticed that today. I noticed
that's credit to Joe Dirt.
Block Wallet. I noticed that you can, when you go to add PulseChain, it actually finds it automatically. It has all the details there on Block Wallet.
Where's that on? Sorry,
on what?
Block Wallet.
Oh, Block
yeah, I did notice that.
Wallet.
Yeah. Yep.
You notice that you search it actually comes up with all the info because most wallets aren't doing that.
I think Block Wallet pulls it from chainlist.org or whatever it is. I think it's chainlist.org. So whatever's on there, it will suck that in.
It's cool. Well, at least it's not getting gate kept, because that is what I expect. That's what I expect nowadays. Whenever I type in anything to do with HEX, or I expect it to be getting gate kept in some way, shape, or form. So it's always a pleasant surprise when it's when you see things the way they should be.
So I reached out to MEXC, and admittedly it was just their first line of help desk, but the person that helped me was actually pretty good, and went off and had a chat up the chain a little bit to see whether they had any plans for listing, and they I can't remember what the exact words were, but it's something like, we haven't got direct plans now, but as soon as we know, we'll be sure to blast it out on Twitter and everything and let everyone know. But didn't sound like it was imminent or anything like that, which I was surprised. I thought they would be all over it. But we'll see what happens.
Yep. So we're waiting for a bridge to come out. We're waiting for a bridge. Not a bridge, sorry, a centralized exchange.
It would be nice to have something like, you don't need it.
Not that we really need it.
Nice thing to have.
Look, ultimately, for people to on-ramp from fiat to crypto, you need a centralized exchange. You need an on-ramp. So, I'm not advocating that you use a centralized exchange to trade.
Hold up. Isn't there 0x Coast or whatever doing the fiat directly into PulseChain? You go dollars straight to Pulse.
Yeah, as far as I know, they're not live at the moment.
He spoke a bit about today on Spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, they're not live, right? But that would be awesome when they do that.
Not live, but coming, and then you don't need to do like suck middleman D. Like
coming.
Rick in chat. Rick,
when you say you don't have there's not going to be any middleman D, can you explain to me, Tangent, what do you mean by that? Like no middleman D? Are they not going to KYC? What do you mean?
Well, I assumed it's like this sort of Insta side shift style shit where it's like a bit like chain. What is it? What's that one? What's the equivalent to side shift? It's like
Shapeshift.
Chain something. Anyway,
the one where or whatever.
Yeah, that one might be it.
.io.
.io, yeah, that one. You can use credit cards on that, and it doesn't ask you for KYC.
No, I think Coast is a little bit different. They've got banking accounts and things like that they'll. I can't remember the terminology they use, but it's like sort of like it's held in trust or something where they're not really the beneficial owners of any assets that go through there. So I don't know.
Are they KYCing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, then I think they're doing something quite dangerous for themselves because they've got tokens and shit, so they'll get fucked. Like as in,
they're
you
very.
Can't do both. You can't do both.
Very particular.
You can't go legacy shit and also have a token. You get fucked in the ass. Like you either go crypto or you go legacy.
No, well that's the whole point of an exchange. That's what they do. They have to have a leg in each camp. If you've got a leg in trade finance, you KYC.
They have to be the mediators.
Hang on. This sounds.
I wouldn't.
I'm just reading this.
Like, as in, I personally would never do that.
It sounds like Stoic OX 0x sounds like he's got something to do with.
So no custody. So yes to KYC, no to custody.
I always assumed it was KYC, Tangent. I always assumed because they have to abide by regulations in whatever jurisdiction they're in, and
all right.
Every jurisdiction wants KYC for this sort of stuff, man. It's like
then I'll change my point to being something that of what I thought this will eventually, like something like a side shift, like a Changely will eventually exist where you can do non KYC direct fiat into PulseChain.
Yeah, they're only
So this is what I assume it is.
Yeah, they're pleb amounts though. You can only because they've got limits on your credit cards. You can only do so much and stuff.
I'm assuming something like Coast. You could push in 50 grand if you want in dollars in one transaction, and just the liquidity on the exchange will be enough for you to just buy into something like Pulse and then move it out to your wallet if you want to.
Stoic, what was the terminology you guys use for the way you do your the trust set up with the accounts. I can't remember what it was, but it was a pretty novel approach.
It's changely.com, by the way, not changely.io, just if anyone cares. I'm just checking to see whether they've done PulseChain.
So Stoics just said tangent. You can't off ramp through those services typically. It's usually just on ramp.
One way. Okay.
Yeah. So off ramp is he's saying off ramp is essential for us. Yeah, it's off ramp pretty essential. You want to be able to go both ways. Yeah.
And the guys have been very diligent about it and put a lot of work into it. So yeah, I won't say anything, but Stoic, if you want to drop any nuggets of what's going on, feel free to, mate.
What I've been telling people who have been freaking out about, like, how am I going to get my money, like, how am I going to get my economic energy off PulseChain and back into like dollars or whatever? It's like, as soon as there is a bridge, which now there is, the Pulse Ramp one, exactly what you used to do to get your crypto from Ethereum back to dollars, it's that exact thing with one extra step, is that you bridge from PulseChain to Ethereum and then you do everything that you did, whatever you did before. So it's like, as long as you've got like a route that gets back, then no one can claim that it's like that you can't get back. So you don't need it to be direct from PulseChain to your bank account.
It's like going back 2 years in time.
Do you mean in terms of the difficulty?
Go back to when you had to. Yeah, just using the bridge. So you just go on like days of when you go from Matic to Ethereum or vice versa. What else were they using?
But that's still the way all those layer 2s are operating today. You go through your bridges to hop onto the layer 2, so it's no different from that. Binance was the only one that probably done it a little bit differently, where a lot of their volume, I think, just routed directly through their exchange. That was essentially the bridge, which has some good and bad things. Obviously, you've got the middleman D that you're sucking in the middle of all of that, but it also meant that you could do a lot of things whilst on the exchange in terms of swapping the low rates and
absolutely
a lot of liquidity there. So there was some good and bad with that. But I think
that's disappointing to hear that they're doing KYC though. Like, you guys know, I'm very anti KYC.
Everyone is going to do KYC, man. There's no way you get around that.
I'm not.
I don't know how you're doing it, but if you're
I'm not, like, going forward. I refuse to do shit with KYC. I close down any exchange account I've ever had. When they've said we're doing KYC, I fuck them off. So I don't have Bittrex, Poloniex, or any. When Binance did it, I just
no one has Bittrex anymore.
I heard that KuCoin. I heard that KuCoin was weirdly doing it like selectively. I saw these Reddit posts where they're like, some people were getting KYC'd and some people weren't. So I just fucked them off. Like, I was like, if they're going to do this shit where they're going to KYC some people randomly, that's even worse. That's even worse than announcing, hey, everyone, we're doing KYC. It's like, you randomly one day get KYC, the rest of the users are not. That's worse.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
KYC equals fuck you, fuck off. Like, that's not crypto. That's not what I'm here for.
It's going to get the KYC and the reporting side of things that the exchanges have to do is going to get even more and more onerous.
So how do you exit without KYC? Question from the chat.
I'm not
tangents. That's for me to know and you to find out.
Yeah, I can't say that publicly. Like, as in, there's multiple ways. There's multiple ways.
Yeah.
There are still exchanges that
don't give up your trade secrets.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's a secret. It's just that for my OPSEC and also for my, like, just for various security reasons and financial reasons, I can't go into the details of how that you would do that shit. But trust me, there's multiple ways.
Yeah. I wish there was
and
ways around that were a lot easier.
From what
but-
I've seen, that shit's on the increase. That's not on
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
decrease.
is.
That's on the increase.
Yeah.
Because this is a
getting
problem
out.
that faces everyone. This
Yeah.
is a problem that faces everyone. So people
It's
are constantly
easier
working on
in-
this in terms of.
From what I gather, that it's easier in lots of transactions in months rather than one big transaction.
Yeah. I mean, one that I can say,
Yeah.
which is like, look, the ones that I can say publicly are going to sound like they're clunky and annoying, but you can just go and buy shit off people with crypto. Like you keep your shit peer to peer. Like
that's exactly what you should be doing. Like whenever I'm working with contractors and things like that, I try and say, well, let's just use crypto rails. Like why? For me, it's much easier, especially when they're overseas, to send someone funds overseas direct from a wallet is 10 times easier than setting up a payment service. And I can't even remember the last. Every person's got a different payment service they want set up, and it's like just send a stablecoin, man. It's just easy. So you should be encouraging that.
As someone who sent many wire transfers over the last 10 years, I can say it's a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You're just waiting around. Have you got the money yet? Have you got the money?
And just all the questions you got to answer to do that shit these days. It's insane. Like the forms you got to fill out. So you should, that's the way you get away from not having to use an off-ramp is everyone starts actually accepting crypto payments. That's how you figure it out.
Yeah, there's shit like you can use the Lightning Network to anonymously fund anonymous debit cards and then use that to pay for shit. You just have to be careful with some of these things that you can use Living Room of Satoshi to pay for shit in Australia. Like you just have to be careful that if what you're paying for is linked to your identity and you go and pay for it with like you using it as like an off-ramp for your crypto, then that anonymous crypto is indirectly linked back. So you have to be careful and know what you're doing. And there's different ways of doing shit. You can also OTC to someone for cash, like a friend or whatever. There's so many ways. Like there's so many ways that you can get out, and you can also stay in the cryptoverse. Like you know what I mean? Like if you want to store your economic energy and your wealth in crypto, then you're really only exiting when you need to buy shit.
Yeah.
Like that's
it's not illegal. It's not illegal to sell your property to someone privately. If you've got a car, you want to sell it to someone privately. You can do that shit. That's all you're doing. You're selling some property you own to someone. That's not illegal.
Yeah.
They'd like to make you think it is, but it's not.
The main one. I'll drop this.
Nintendo owned the property.
For those of you who have been watching us for a really long time, you may remember that one time I started talking about something and Jexa advised me not to talk about it, even though at the time I thought it was like a reasonably benign topic. And that is somewhat related to probably the best way that you can achieve the answer to that question. I know that's really cryptic, but I'm doing that deliberately because I actually don't want it to be obvious what I'm talking about.
You guys got to hang around for the green room once this finishes, because I know
how many people in chat want the link to the green room?
You already know this. As soon as I tell you,
I know, but you need to refresh my memory. You need to refresh my memory, dude.
When green room.
The green room sooner or better because I get up at 4 a.m.
It's funny. What else have we got going on?
Someone asked in the chat if the bridge is broken.
It's not broken. I think
it's clearly not broken. It's just congested.
Yeah. And bridges by their very nature are sometimes to do the actual transaction, they're quite slow anyway. Not this slow. Like my mate's been waiting 9 hours. It's not that slow, but it's not uncommon. I've seen some of them 24 hours. I've seen one of them was something like 8 days. So it just depends what sort of bridge you're using.
8 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it was the plasma bridge or something, wasn't it? They had some ungodly time delay like that.
I remember when all the hexicans went over to Matic and they were like trading their hex for like, you know, and going on to Matic with their hex. And then the bridge fucked up and everyone was bitching and moaning and crying and like, oh, my hex, it's on Matic. I can't get it out. And I was just laughing. I was just sitting back laughing because I don't use that shit. Never have. Oh, well, actually, that's not true. I have once because Jexa made me use it. But apart from that, I've never used it.
What was that? What did I make you on Polygon?
Yeah. You made me use it once. You made me buy some Matic to use like... I can't remember what it was.
Oh, it was to test something, wasn't it?
It was to test something.
Yeah.
And we have Mr. T-Bird in the house.
So have any of you guys got anything through the bridge yet?
I haven't even tried.
Yeah, I seen what was going on, and I was happy just to kick back and not be a part of that just yet.
Mine.
I was very early over on the network.
Mine would have been.
Happy just
Yeah, so mine's been about 10 hours now. It still hasn't come through. Just for people to understand, you have to wait.
Yeah. Yep. I really want to find a link to the. I was trying to.
But I do know people that have got some.
Yeah, I was trying to search for the bridge value, but I couldn't bloody find it on the block explorer. It just wouldn't show me any transactions. But if anyone in chat, if you've got a link to the bridge contract, so we can see how many funds are in there, that would be cool if you could post it in the chat.
By the way, T-Bird, I'm a big fan of your tweets. T-Bird's tweets are really, really good. They always hit hard.
How many followers you got on Twitter, T-Bird?
Oh, we can't hear you, mate. Can't hear you. Or is it just me?
Yeah, really quiet.
Mike's really low.
You're not chirping loud enough.
You sound like you're muted.
I'll go and look up the answer to that question for you, though. Shit.
He'd have to be one of the bigger accounts in the community, wouldn't he? He's everywhere.
Yeah, 6.7K.
Wait.
Yeah, he's always a top influence.
Yeah. Yep. You're always in the right place at the right time.
Cool. Every time I do a Twitter space or go on someone's stream, my follower count goes up, and I'm almost at 10K now.
You spend a lot of time on streams and in spaces, don't you, Tangent?
The spaces, yeah. I've been spending a lot of time in spaces, too much. What ends up happening is I start off with the intention of just doing a quick space where I'm just going to do like a quick Q&A or something. And then people come in and start talking about stuff. I find it really interesting. I'm enjoying it. And it just goes for like 16 hours.
16 hours.
16 hours.
Yeah, there's been some really good ones. There was a really good one with a lot of questions being answered. Like quite a lot lot of people, really.
That most recent,
which is the most I've ever seen.
It was an alpha fest. Walrus was in there dropping alpha, KDP. Like it was just like it was obviously it's not the entire time, but within that stream, there's serious shit.
I can't get much out of that.
I think that's a problem with those spaces. You can't easily go and sift through it.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Especially if it's 16 hours long. The scroll bar, you move it like this and it's like a 4-hour jump. So it's like if you're trying to find something specific, it doesn't have timestamps. It's like, it's just crazy. I pity anyone who actually tries to go back through and find shit.
Twitter spaces should definitely have like
AI auto
searchable transcript.
Just get an AI to timestamp it. so that whenever the topic changes, it timestamps the shit. An AI could do that so easily, bro.
Yeah. Why aren't you doing it, Tangent? I thought you were AI last time we spoke on Twitter Spaces.
I am an AI. Yep. But I'm actually, I've been programmed so well that I'm designed to mitigate any indication that I'm an AI, apart from joking around about being an AI. So if I was to start like
Shermanator
doing crazy
vibes
shit
from American Pie right now. I'm getting the Shermanator vibes from you. the way you speak. No, T-Bird, we're not hearing you, man. We're not hearing you.
But I can't hear me. So I'm getting through.
I can hear you, but it sounds like you've got a mic in another room.
Yeah, that's it. It sounds like you're
the
using a
mic's
different
next
mic.
door. Yeah, the mic's next door.
Are you,
Yeah, could it be that it's allocated to the wrong mic and it's like it's what maybe a mic that needs to be
it's
real
picking
close.
up the wrong.
Wait, can I just jump in here at this spot and say my
yell at
favorite news aggregator website, which is Crypto Panic, I thought, oh, I wonder if they've done any news about PulseChain, right? And so I came here and my expectation was that there would be none because they had news about HEX very early on, and then they just gate kept anything about HEX. No, there was no news about HEX for years. So if you search HEX, you'll find these really, really, really old articles and then nothing, just radio silence. But there are actually 2 articles here about PulseChain, and both of them are heavy FUD. So
serious?
It's clear that these pieces of shit are like actively negative on Richard Hart and Richard Hart related shit. One of them says, so there's one of them, actually this one, I thought this was recent, but it was 3 months ago. Richard Hart followers lose faith as PulseChain and PulseX face delays. That was 3 months ago. And then 1 day ago, HEX PulseChain launch off to a rocky start as gas fee spike and token price sinks. Bro.
Oh, Jesus.
Fudding piece of shit. You fucking fudding piece of shit. Bullish. I clicked the little, you can react, and I clicked the little bullish react.
Do you know how I was thinking about this not too long ago, and now I'm starting to see all this hate and FUD in a different light because it's been so long, right? It's been so long, and I just think that like it all comes from a place of these people being pathetic, like, and scared that Pulse and HEX is going to come and eat their fucking lunch, their crypto lunch that they've been trying to make for years, and then Richard Hart just comes along and just fucking demolishes everything. I think it comes from a place of fear.
Cue the song like came like a wrecking ball.
I really think that. I think that it's pathetic, and it comes from a place of fear.
All the crypto news feeds. So all the I can't remember what each of them are called now, like CoinDesk and whatever else they've got. Most of the shit on them is paid sponsors, PR type things, dressed up as articles and being newsworthy, but they're just paid gigs. And there's also been, and I can't remember who it was, but there was one team that was actively paying these guys to write negative things and slanderous things about other projects. And I can't remember who it was now that was the team that was doing that, but it was quite a large team. So they literally had a budget for fudding other things and trying to get SEC to put attention onto these other projects and things like that. So they were, I understand that's what goes on in this space. There's not all kumbaya, let's change the world. There's big money involved in some of these things, and some people play the game pretty rough. And I think that's what's probably interesting about HEX is we don't care about any of that shit. We've never paid for the advertising or paid people on YouTube for anything. So we fall outside the traditional model in the way everyone's been doing things in that little cabal that's been doing it a particular way. So, and yeah, like you say, they can spread all the shit they want. It makes no difference. We'll just keep soldiering on and doing what we're doing.
What's this website you've sent me?
No, don't. No. That's for discussion later.
Oh, gotcha.
That's for Greek. Hey, just so you understand why I'm so distorted. This is the kind of technology I have to put up with here. There's an AM FM radio above my bed head.
Holy shit, dude.
Dude, that's so old, it's cool.
Yeah, it's gone full circle and it's like retro. It's like become cool again. Start wearing flares and shit.
Is that your alarm clock as well, that one? Is that one with all the features?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to have an LED clock on it, but it's not working.
Wait, you know the trend that stayed
This would have been fancy back when I was a sperm.
Without rotating around that annoyed me was the skinny jeans. That took way too long to fuck off. Because when you've got massive balls, it's just a massive problem. And it just was like skinny jeans for like fucking decades, bro. Like,
I could never get it past the calves for me. That was it.
Do you have like the equivalent of a camel toe? Was it a pair of frog eyes or something?
I wonder if that contributed to worldwide sperm lower count or whatever's going on. Tight squeezed balls.
Offset. Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. That's a good point. That's a really good point. They do reckon that sperm count goes down when you when that shit's cut off. Starved of
and sitting on a heated seat in your car.
Yeah, heated seat as well. It's true.
So if you want healthy sperm, don't use your heated seat in your car.
There you go.
But turn it on if you are banging in the car. Like
So
Jackson doesn't want to be associated with this conversation.
I could tell you a story about what I actually had to do today before I drove to work, but I don't know if that's appropriate. It involves semen and testing.
Well, I don't know how much more worse it can get, dude. So
yeah.
You sort of gave us the critical parts.
I went and done I went and got a semen count test done.
As long as hang on. As long as the other word isn't taste.
No, I get enough protein in my diet. Thanks.
So what happened? You just checking your boys can swim? What is it? What's the deal?
Yeah, all the good news. Might try and have another baby, so thought I better get checked. Since I don't know if I had nut cancer when I make sure she's still working.
That's legit, though. I think that's a legit reason.
Yeah.
You want to make sure it's all good?
I hope you wanted to share that with the whole world.
That's my long story short.
Yeah. Just shared that our all-time high of watches on our screen. JFK666,
nothing's off
thanks for the
limits.
super chat. He wants to ask Mayo, how many pulses you got, Mayo? Well, his name's Mayo for a reason, JFK.
Oh,
So
no.
It wasn't 14. I'll give you that much.
Yeah,
Got a little
14 is the 14,000x is like it's not an easy feat. It's not just everyone just gets immediately 14,000x. It's not the 14 doesn't just, you know.
you need to work up to 14.
Yeah,
Mentally,
takes a
physically, and
lifetime to get 14.
Yeah.
You got to think that you're somewhere else.
See that one, John G. Rect. Tried to swap 1,000 USD of ETH to W Pulse and got $40 worth, even though I set slippage to $10, 10%. Yeah.
You know
Gain.
what? I can explain how that could happen. Is the slippage only protects you from the ratio changing away from what it already is. If the ratio is already fucked, then your slippage only protects you from getting 10% more fucked than you were already fucked. But if you're already like if the ratio is already fucked, then you're fucked anyway, and you just get like you're like, don't let me get any more than 10% more fucked than I'm already getting fucked, and then you still end up getting fucked. Does that make sense?
It'd be interesting to see. Did you check the ratio before you actually press the swap button? It'd be interesting to see what happened there. Whether it was showing the incorrect thing on
John, that sucks, mate.
That sucks.
Look, put it this
Lots
way.
of people are falling into this shit. They're getting wrecked.
In a larger amount. It could have been a larger amount, and it could have been a lot worse. So, this is one of those things that happens to everyone at some stage, and you got to take it as a lesson. You have to be extra careful with everything.
Noob whales might be getting fucked. Noob whales, like so people that are rich but noob, could be getting totally fucked.
Yeah,
the fake stables, the one that like those copied stables.
Yeah. So
oh my god,
we've heard hero stories and we've heard horror stories in the last couple of days where some guys have just made out like absolute bandits on the ratio. But they've been watching carefully and playing the game. But if you're not familiar with how all this works, there's a chance you can do your dough. So don't be in a hurry. There's things are going to settle down. There's plenty of time. You're at the beginning of what is a decades-long journey. A day or two out, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, remember the impatient pay the patient.
15 years, boys. 15 years.
Yep, and just so you understand what's going on, we had another person I know got hit up with the old traditional scammers where they tried to, I don't know how it managed to come about, but he asked for a little bit of help on one of the socials. Obviously got contacted by a scammer that were always lurking in the background. He gave up the seed words to the MetaMask client he was using. Luckily, he was using a hardware wallet with it. And when the scammer or support started asking for the seed words to his Trezor, that's when he sort of tweaked. But they're pretty. They play on your emotions when you've got a lot going on and you're not quite focused. So just be super vigilant. You can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Brett tweeted out. He said, "We don't offer support. This is a decentralized system.
There's no support.
Anyone offering support is a fucking scammer. Like
offering
support by DM is a scammer.
Yeah.
If you're doing it in a public forum, it's safer because someone else within that forum can say, "Yo, this guy's scamming." So, but in a DM, there's no one there to alert you to it.
I agree. What they've gotten really, really good at now is duplicating chat rooms. So you go have a look at the legitimate PulseChain room, and what they've done, they go in there and they grab all the pinned messages and things like that and replicate those in another channel, and then they flood it with
and then get
bots,
fake followers and shit.
Get fake followers in there, and what you'll find is,
that's fucked.
They'll make it such that you can't send messages back there and say that the group's a scam and things like that. So
they'll also have copies of admin names and profile pictures. They'll like copy the admins and do like they go to great lengths to look legit. So if you're ever in doubt, you click into like the admins and see like what else, like just look at what they've what else they're in, but just be super careful with all that stuff. Hey, just be super careful.
And likewise, I got to. Yeah, you go.
I was going to say, this is an example where the scammers putting so much effort in, they could just buy crypto and get rich. Like they could just participate legitimately and get more rich. That's like so much effort just to run a scam.
But they come across, like they might get 100 people where they're just picking up a few pennies, but then they get someone like a HEX 19.
Get a whale.
Yeah. So
it's a numbers game.
It's disgusting. It is.
HEX 19, RIP.
Yep.
By the way,
we live in a world of non-stop scammers. Non-stop. They call me all the time. All the time. I don't even, when I answer my phone, I don't actually say anything anymore. This is what I do. I pick up my phone, I put the mic on mute, I mute the mic, and I fucking wait for someone to say some shit.
Yep, I do the same thing.
If it's not, because like what are they recording my
if
voice?
it's a number I don't know, that's what I do. Just wait.
Yeah. I think there are scams out there because there's those ones where as soon as you say shit, it just hangs up on you and you're like, where's the scam? They're recording your voice so they can try and do like voice activation banking and shit like that. So I do the exact same thing, man. I answer the phone and wait for them to talk first. And if it's legit, they'll talk. And if it's not, they won't. And you just hang up on them.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's got to that. But I'd barely even answer phone calls. If I don't recognize a phone call, a lot of times I'll just let it go through to a message bank. Either they'll call me back or send a text or something. But eventually they'll get them. If they really want to speak to me, they'll get through to me.
Yep.
I had to organizing one of my kids' birthday parties, and the place that we're doing it, they wanted us to go. They want you to go onto their website and fill in a form. Website, no secure certificate, like just unencrypted website. Shit. And they want all this fucking information. I'm just like,
classic.
Why do they need all this information? Like dates of birth, and it's unencrypted. So I called them and I'm like, you guys, you got to do something about this website. Like you get at least be encrypted, but why do you even need all this information? Like just for a birthday party, you know?
At shops, sometimes they ask you for your phone number and shit. I always say pass. And then they're like, what? And I'm like, what? Do you need this? Like, do you actually need this information? And often they're just like, oh, no, we just ask everyone for like their phone number and shit or your postcode or whatever. Fuck off. Like,
I
booked the dinner last night that I went out to, booked it online, and I just put the name Nanya.
I use fake names. I use takeaway aliases. Like, so because you're at a spot and they yell your fucking name out in front of everyone, like when your order is ready. So I just use fake names. I fucking never give my real shit. I fake phone numbers. Like,
my wife thinks I'm a lunatic, but I'm staunch. I hate people that ask for information that's not required. That's my biggest bugbear. Yeah.
So I've got another story that happened to me earlier this week. I went into a kids accessories, not clothing, but like prams and like car seats and, you know, one of those places that sells all that stuff. And my wife has like an account there. So that it used to be that she would get a discount, but now they've transitioned it into being, and this was years ago, like now I wouldn't even bother setting one of these things up, but now they don't even give you a discount. They give you like a voucher. And like I went to pay,
just check
and
what Orion said. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah, it's us. Yeah, he hasn't realised that we
That's
run the stream on Twitch.
Yeah, no, we simulcast.
I'll make sure no one's using us. The scam.
Yeah. That motherfucking scammer. Rebroadcasting our shit.
No, you got to watch out. They make it look like a real thing.
We're not that famous yet. We're not at that Elon Musk level where they take our streams and
the reason we do that is because sometimes channels get taken down, and because our content is so fucking elite, we could just not have a situation where our shit gets taken down and lost forever. But like getting back to this, I think the account was in my wife's name and it had my mobile number, and she's like, but this is your wife's account. Like she had a real problem with it being my mobile number, but in my wife's name. She just had this massive problem, and she's like, oh well, we've got to put your wife's number in there, and I'm like, why do you have to do that? No. And she's like, for privacy. And I'm like, isn't that less private now that you have like her shit as well? Like now you're going to have like not only mine in your fucking database, but you're going to have hers. Like that's less private. And then I'm like, what is the discount anyway? And she's like, oh, now we give you vouchers. I'm like, fucking, I pass, man. Just how much do I pay?
Delete all my shit from there. Yeah.
She meant your wife's theoretical privacy against you. That if they wanted to communicate something to her, you would be like a man in the middle attack. So they've got the wrong idea of what is the important level. Like we want the privacy against like nation state actors, not against our friends and family. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, I wish she like would be thinking on that level, but there is no fucking way this person was. She just said, "Oh, it's for privacy." Like, there's no way she was thinking on this level. No way. It was just like, you know,
just being told to say that.
It was just she just wanted to bust. It just felt like to me she just felt like busting my chops because she could that morning, so she was busting my chops.
Bit of power control.
That's all right. She can have all the power and control in that store that she wants. I bought the shit and left. I can live with that.
King of their own castle.
I smiled and said thank you and I left, and it was all nice. Yes, the DeFi late.
Maybe you should just wear my bean.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But can I just say thank you, Orion, for being a fucking soldier and letting us know that there are potential scammers out there. I do appreciate that, man. I really do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, the HEX Daily Stats site, is the PulseChain data on that site correct?
Well, he's working good.
On the Pulse side?
Say that again. On which? On
the hexdailystats.com site, the PulseChain site.
I haven't checked it. I haven't checked it.
I also haven't checked it. Checking it now.
I haven't seen how good are the ETH payouts at the moment.
That looks correct. But remember that these prices.
So what do you do? Can you jump between? So obviously it just shows the main ETH side now, does it? What's it showing in the tables below? Which side's that? So it's still showing ETH side, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell by the price.
Yep.
Maybe there's a toggle though.
Far out. 3.5 million beats average gas.
Fuck.
That's crazy.
Add liquidity.
What would that be in dollars?
Oh, in fiat terms, it wouldn't be much. It'd be like
Nah.
a few pennies.
Yeah, it'd be like 30 cents.
It's showing you. It's showing you above what that would cost in like for different things like send, swap, add LP. However, keep in mind the discussion that we had earlier on stream where all these prices are fucked, like as in they're way lower than what they should be because of that bottleneck at the bridge. So maybe assume, like maybe multiply those prices by at least 3, because that would bring the HEX price up to like roughly where it should be. And so it's still fuck all though. Like for these, what's it called? For like sending a PRC20 is going to be like 6 cents or 5 cents or something, and a swap is like less than 30 cents. So
they've got it sitting there. So PulseX swap 7 cents.
Yeah, but I'm saying you need to multiply that up.
I'll multiply it by 3. Yeah, right.
Like just ballparking it in terms of what it's likely to be once the bridge is properly operational. But yes, this looks legit as far as like this is correctly getting the stats that what the price is theoretically at the moment.
Yeah, and then you've got the liquidity. You can see that's pretty shallow on there as well.
Isn't that interesting that the penalties, like you can compare some of these stats, like penalties higher on the Ethereum side. So that, because that's probably from all, you remember people emergency end staking on ETH. Payout per T-share. So yeah, people were right that the Ethereum side actually already has slightly higher payouts.
Yeah, it was up higher the other day, point something.
T-share rate also already higher on the Ethereum side as well.
So the payouts. So over the past 4 days, we had a payout of 8.9. The day before was 8.5, 6.8. So there's been
that 8 point whatever was like everyone panic EESing on the dump, thinking that that dump was like going to 0 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool to see how these things deviate.
Average length stake is still over 7 years. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we're going to have some crazy stats to look at over the next while.
So, who wants to make
a lot to keep busy with?
What do you think your predictions are in terms of daily payout? So you think it's going to go massively higher on the ETH side relative to PulseChain?
Not massively higher, but higher.
Higher, yep. I think there's a lot of.
I think on average on the Pulse side, the payout will be larger over time because there'll just generally be a lot more staking activity, which will ratchet it up more.
On the PulseChain,
yeah, shouldn't the T-share rate ramp up on Pulse?
There'll be a lot of stakes there'll be a lot of stakes that can now get end staked on PulseChain that it just wasn't viable before.
But they're not going to be massive.
I forgot to do that. Fuck. I forgot to do that before the fees went fucking high. Holy shit. God damn it.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
Hedron too.
There were some people that didn't mint their Hedron before the gas started to go stupid as well. And now you go to mint Hedron, and it's like, it's not ideal. Yeah. But it'll chill. It'll settle. It'll take probably a good few days, maybe a little bit more.
I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, I'm sure there was some other shit I was like planning to do that I didn't do, and that was one of them. Damn it.
It's still not. It's still not terrible though.
No, it's not terrible. Yeah. But like
relative to what the value of the Hedron
these were very small stakes. These were very small stakes. These were like peppered stakes from when gas was like so low that we were just doing silly shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
It all got out of hand pretty quick, didn't it?
I'm donating that to the community. Let it bleed.
We're all
You're welcome.
doing that.
You're
mate.
welcome, Richard. Go and buy yourself a new Louis Vuitton jacket or something.
How long till Richard live streams?
Oh, bro, I cannot wait for that. It's almost like very critical because of how much stuff needs to be to protect people against all of these mistakes that people are making. He could save a lot of people by being like, hey, don't do this, don't do this. This is how this works. This is not the real thing. Like, and just explain it all. And then people would clip the fuck out of it. Like the community is waiting like an army ready to educate, but they need to be able to say, look, Richard said it, so that people actually believe him, because cunts don't believe us. Like we tell the truth, but people are like, oh, this is just some random on the internet. Like can't trust it. But if you can clip Richard saying it and post it, then no one disagrees.
We're just anons, bro.
Yeah, we are all Satoshi. We are all anons.
Tangent.
So yeah, I'm keen for him to stream, man. So keen.
Do you know, is Hurricash operating? Is it working?
I also had the similar thought, man. I went and looked there and it said that the last deposit was like before the fork, like May 2nd or something. So it doesn't look like it is.
No, I think the Explorer is a little bit jacked like that. I've got a few accounts like that where it shows old transactions but nothing new.
I just clicked on enter app and it's come up with testnet 2B.
Oh shit, dude. I just realized this is the one where like I'm not fully sold on how this operates, man. Because you have to put the recipient. This is the one where you have to put the final address in when you're making the deposit, and I just personally don't like that.
Do you have to?
Yes.
You have to.
You have to.
There's no way
yes.
you can just leave it.
No, you cannot. This particular mixer is designed that you have to say what the final, which kind of for me is a break in the security model. It means that
defeats the purpose.
Yes, it kind of breaks it. Yes. Like it's still better than just sending it direct to a wallet, but not by much. Like as in, you have to trust them to not be storing that data, and you have to also assume that they are not compromised as well. So it might not be them being malicious, but it could be a hacker or a nation state that sees what you're doing on the website, or like some kind of man. So the Tornado Cash system was a lot better for actual anonymity, where you deposit the funds and then anyone with that note can withdraw them from a different computer, different location, over Tor, doesn't fucking matter. This, you don't want those pieces of data being inputted at the same time.
I thought the Nova and the ZK money ways of doing it, which were essentially exactly the same.
No, they were
because
not.
they had that chain, like layer 2 for.
But you didn't have
layer.
You didn't have to put it. You didn't have to. Yeah. So yeah. So the ZK money, Tornado Cash, they were all legit. I was happy with how they functioned, because you can come back later and withdraw to any address you want. This is a problem for me personally. Other people might think this is fine, but to me, this is not like acceptable. So I got excited for nothing. Sorry for getting your hopes up. This is not a solution.
There are people in the chat talking about Beetroot Privacy Hub. I've heard about it. I've never used it. I've never used it, so I don't know anything about it. Really?
Yeah, I went and had a quick look at it, but I haven't used it.
Yeah.
John G's got a question for you.
Yep. Just before that, I want to say thanks to Jesse James. He wants to know, he or she wants to know, what's your thoughts on buying Ink token?
I wish I'd done it earlier.
My thoughts are that I wouldn't buy it personally. If there was a way to earn it, I would maybe do that.
I'm the same as you, 43. My preference is to LP to get it rather than just buying it off market.
It depends if there becomes if there's something else you can do with it, then there's probably that brings forward a bit of demand in terms of why you would want someone to buy it. But I think, you're both right at this point in time.
But there is speculation around the INC token that it might have some affiliation with the potential wallet token from RH's wallet. But that's purely speculation at this point.
If only we could implement maybe perhaps some kind of buy and burn. That's an inside joke. Basically, don't expect any utility to be added to the incentive token. However, do expect it to go up in price. It's outperformed everything so far.
It's got a really low supply at the moment.
It's scarce. Yeah.
Right. So what's his question?
Isn't it just the purpose to, like, you know, if you're LP within permanent loss, you basically just use your ink token to DCA back in? Is that not its main purpose?
One of, yeah.
Yeah. It actually has got reasonable. It's not like a cake token that just infinitely inflates. This one's got a set schedule, and it halves every year, so it's disinflationary. So
you're saying it's better than Bitcoin? It has a half.
Sure.
Bitcoin has a halving every 4 years. This token has a halving every year.
Right.
So it's
every year.
So you're saying it's
four times better.
It is Bitcoin.
It is mathematically proven to be 4 times better.
4x superior.
I like this tokenomics.
4x game theory.
Yeah.
So this question, hey guys, do you think WPLS on ETH is going to move in tandem with PulseChain PLS? No. I would say yes.
Because, sorry.
I would say yes because if
of course
WPLS
it's identical,
same asset.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
asset. It's one. It's one to one.
If they're not, someone will arbitrage between the two.
No, you can't. You wrap and unwrap it. It's native. You wrap and unwrap it natively on chain.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, he's saying on ETH.
On ETH. On ETH.
I think they'll move in tandem because people will arb them.
Yes.
People will arb them to keep them the same.
Yeah, it should stay. It should stay pretty close. Yeah. The only time things like that break is when there's not enough eyeballs on it to keep the arb going. So I would say, this will be pretty good in terms of how tightly it stays.
Yeah.
But the question is, why would anyone want to play with Pulse on ETH? It doesn't really make that much sense. You would go the other way. You'd be like, I'll wrap my ETH and put it on Pulse. That's the way you would go.
Yeah. It'll end up over there.
Why would you want to pay those high fees to do anything with it at all? Like, I just want to move it from this address to that address. It's fucking expensive. I want to do this. I'm going to do some minimal shit on ETH. It's going to be expensive. Whatever you want to do, the whole point of PulseChain is you can just take whatever you wanted to do on ETH and
do it for less fees.
If it's possible, just do it on Pulse. It's cheap.
The thing you're not thinking of, though, is, and I'm not saying this will be the token that people use to do it, but they may do, is people that want to extract value. So they're not interested in the chain at all. They've got, they've been given part of the PRC20 airdrop and they want to move funds out. So with the PRC20, they'd probably swap it into Pulse or maybe a stable and then move that across the bridge. So they could get used for that. Swapping into the native
funding Jim will join.
Because if you swap into the native coin, then you don't have to worry about having gas for transactions and things like that. So you swap into the native coin, you go to the bridge, you can pay all your transaction fees and whatever without messing around with stables and whatever.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to PulseX swap coming through in a couple of weeks because that's going to take a lot of the headache out of bridging.
This Beetroot privacy bridge claims to have PulseChain on it.
Yeah, I think they're supporting PulseChain.
What the fuck?
I think they're supporting PulseChain.
Motherfucker.
Gary,
let's go. I'm going to send you. Let's fucking go.
Gary, I'll send you a link. Just heads up, we're only going to be on for about another 10 minutes because we've got to get off before Wake Up HEX starts.
Yo,
send you the
let's
link.
fucking go. There's a bridge here. There's Beetroot Privacy Bridge. And it claims to do that. Like it's got the shit where the amount that you're bridging is in like fixed denominations, so that i.e. it's trying to make it private by like that you'll be in with a group of people that are all sending the same amount. You see what I'm saying? So let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it looks all right?
I don't do crypto on this computer, but as soon as this stream ends, I'm going to be on the computer behind me doing this fucking shit, and then I'll tweet about it. So follow me on Twitter at HEXTangent. Yeah, it looks legit. Like, as in, I don't see why. Like, I've used their bridge before for other chains, and it's always worked fine. And I don't think they would list PulseChain here if it was fucked. Like, as in, I don't think they'd have it selectable if it was broken or not working or whatever, or they'd at least have a warning. So LFG. But I will tweet out my experience in terms of how it works, how long it takes, how much it costs in fees, whether you need to pay fees at the other end. Because some of these bridges, you know, Pulse Ramp requires you to pay a fee at the other end, whereas a lot of other bridges don't do that shit. You pay the fee up front and then it does it at the other end for you. So this might be worth people checking out once I confirm that it's legit. Yeah,
so I'm keen. I just wanted to point out what Black Swan said about you, Tangent. You have the camera pointing at your crypto.
Oh, yeah, but it's the thing that's on the screen right now is just the block explorer. It's not.
Yeah, but what about if someone activates your camera when you're not paying attention and watches you on your crypto computer?
Oh, I've got a webcam cover. Check this out. So this webcam is always got a cover over it so that no one can look. Like, and I snowed in my shit. I've got covers on every webcam, every laptop and shit is all, the cams are all covered.
So, Gary, I sent it to Telegram because for some reason I can't send you messages for whatever reason. I don't know.
I think he blocked you, 43.
He said block.
Okay, so let's go around the room before Gary gets here and be like, what is the thing that is making you most bullish on PulseChain? I want to hear it. And then I'll go last.
Well, I'll quickly just go first and say I've been really impressed by like the level of engagement on social media, especially the Twitter Spaces. I've for sure had a lot of fun, especially with you, Tangent, jumping onto your spaces, because I always love coming into your spaces, and you bring top shelf information, keep it structured, and you bring in entertainment as well. So
thanks, man.
And the numbers always are coming in, and KDP is also doing a fantastic job. Getting the numbers to come in, and she's very educational and informative. So. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff on social media, a lot of outreach, and everything is bullish. But yeah, that's definitely my biggest for me.
T-Bird's got socials and community. No one's allowed to repeat what someone else says. Go, Mayo.
I was going to say community. Well, it's just the numbers. The numbers of people. So it's community, obviously, but the education that and the people willing to help other people, it's just my mind that I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. How many people are helping other people in this because of this?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it in a nutshell for me. The sheer numbers that have come across and how the narrative is already changing from the other influences.
I'm going to quickly say that I think it's for me, it's the approach taken by the founder and just what the founder sort of his beliefs. That's what makes it the best stuff for me. Best chain, best protocols.
Yep.
Best tokens.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You guys said you were going to close your show really quickly. When I came into the space and just heard the last bit of the program, hang on, I was sorry, construction. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess the thing I was going to add to it is I think we're starting off in a different position with this launch as opposed to the HEX launch. Like HEX launch was under so much FUD that was uncanny. This one's completely different. There's a lot more respect, I think, now for the community, for Richard. There's people that see what we've done them against all odds. We've just kept soldiering on. And I think that's recognised, not by everyone in the broader crypto space, but by a lot more people this time. And I think that's going to make a massive difference. So we had getting people interested.
Community, education, founder, timing / positioning. And I'll let Gary go and while I think about mine, because I want mine to be like fucking fire. Let's go.
So my only little comment, and is about, I heard Day 43 say something about why would anybody move things over to Ethereum? I want to be cautious about the mindset as we go forward over the next 2 years. The mindset that caused stress between Bitcoin when Ethereum launched was that's a threat, that's competition, they're going to take my user base. That was the mindset that in some ways slowed its growth. You know, people that were excited that owned Bitcoin were told by other Bitcoiners, don't go over there. And it's interesting that the narrative about PulseChain launching, from my view, that Richard has said that I picked out of his words was, we are going to make it easier for all Ethereans because we're going to relieve them of some of their users. But their traffic and their transaction costs will decrease because we are effectively increasing supply to meet the demand, right? The supply of smart contract engagement, different protocols and things like that with a lower transaction cost now because it has less users using this network than on Ethereum. So the reasoning about potentially bridging over and putting things on Uniswap on Ethereum is really a market maker decision to do that because they might have or likely would have a loss. Maybe they're going to have less engagement. It's high transaction costs. But look at what happened over the last month, 2 months. Pepe didn't have PulseChain and it went through the roof, right? People were suffering massive transaction costs for a meme, right? So like, I think that there is something to be said for some, again, market maker, psychological people that are, it's like people considering the psychology that are engaging new audiences to promote both Ethereum assets held on Ethereum from PulseChain and PulseChain, because some people are not going to go across the bridge. I remember when Matic came out and Polygon came out and all these L2s came out, I just didn't feel comfortable myself. I was more familiar with Ethereum and I didn't bridge over for transaction costs. I didn't, right? I stayed on the network that was expensive because it was familiar. There's going to be a percentage of people that do that, and they shouldn't be shit talked. They shouldn't be negged in social media because it's just their comfort zone. Other people will be the frontiersmen and they will engage PulseChain and maybe they'll have a great experience and they'll talk about it. But some will say, I've got PLS that's wrapped and I see a chart on Uniswap on Ethereum and it's going to initially maybe not do so well. Who knows, right? Because the marketing benefits both user bases, right? And I think that if you're talking about ARB, I heard ARB at the end of this, that, you know, as long as even Tangent said, the only time that ARB suffers is when people don't know that there's an ARB opportunity. When they know that there's an ARB opportunity, then they do so, right? Because there's an incentive to do so. So it's very similar in some ways. Some people are actually bridging, this may shock a lot, but they're bridging assets from PulseChain to Ethereum now. You can look on Bridge and see it. So like this is happening in a collaborative, hey, we're all Ethereans. We are all Ethereans, you know, up until this fork. All of us have been, right? So like, I don't want that to stop. And I really don't want us to start a new culture war of Ethereum is better, PulseChain is better than Ethereum because of this, and we go shit talk to them. I don't think that that's useful. I think that it's Better spent
Well,
energy to either speak to no coiners.
I think ultimately the
not look
market
at it as
itself,
an opportunity, not look at it as an opportunity really to ROI in dollar, but to opportunity to ROI in user base that may become more familiar with us in the future and migrate also later. This is an adoption curve, in my view.
Yeah, I was just going to say to that point.
It's fair point. Fair point, Gary.
The market itself will decide in time, like where
Yeah,
you know
market
where
will
the participants want to go.
You got to understand.
My point that I was making is I think that it's going to be superior to be on PulseChain because of the reduced costs from my perspective, you know, because but I'll still have stuff to do on Ethereum.
Yeah, we're all still on Ethereum, man.
Yeah, we're all still on Ethereum. But look, I mean, let's bear in mind it is going to get very expensive, especially for things like native hex stakes. Like native hex stakes, ending native hex stakes on Ethereum is going to get so expensive, and I'm not looking forward to it in the coming years when Ethereum is 10 grand. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
So I hope people have their Ethereum saved up.
Again, people like us who are like in the ground floor on PulseChain and PulseX, you know, we're in the future we're going to have the assets, that the resources available to us to be able to offset the gas cost on the ETH side as well. So that there will be solutions along the way to mitigate it. You know,
these are leveraged positions. The leveraged position also is the opportunity. So if leverage money coming from Wall Street goes into crypto, the first engagement that they're most comfortable with is going to be the commodity narrative around Bitcoin, being inside of a trust like Grayscale, something along those lines. So that can push the price effectively of those positions. And then Ethereum being leveraged on Bitcoin is Hart's law, pooled, whatever you want to call it, but leverage also because it's more on the curve to the majority of volume, dollar economic volume in crypto. And then we are on that line too, but we're further out because we are new. We're new. We're relatively familiar because the experience for the most part is going to be similar to Ethereum and already known. So we have that advantage by far, but still like the bridging element is just going to be something that people that choose to, hey, there's a great opportunity over here because the transaction costs are low, 17% faster with 10-second blocks, whatever you want to call it. There's fewer people over here right now. Later, there'll be more people. Later, there'll be more expense on the transaction costs. And there will be an equilibrium somewhere year, 2, 3 years down the road. And then that gives another opportunity as both networks congest from that familiar experience to launch a PulseChain 2 or whatever the next blockchain that copies the system state. This is not the last system state copy of Ethereum or PulseChain.
Yeah.
Tangent, you were going to put in your 2 cents about.
Yep.
You were
Mine's
put in
real
your
quick.
2 cents. Yep.
By the way, I agree with all of yours. They were all great. They're really good. Mine is counterintuitive. Mine is the negativity and FUD. I'm not going to go into all the various reasons that back up that theory, but the negativity and FUD is keeping me mad bullish, and there's multiple reasons for that.
Yeah.
So anything that these anons think is bearish, it's actually bullish.
Cool.
All right. So we've been going for about 2.5 hours, coming up on Wake Up Hex crew is starting in about 3 minutes. Does anyone have any parting words before we wind it up?
Catch me on PulseChain.
Let's
Catch me on
fucking go,
Twitter.
baby.
Let's fucking go, baby.
PulseChain, boy.
Yeah, retweet anything that comes out of Miami this week. We've got a lot of things happening. I've got professional videographers following us and all this stuff at my first Bitcoin conference. This is my first ever. So it'll be fun.
Can you kick
Nice. Appreciate the work you're doing out there, Gary. You're doing great.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's wind it up. Thanks a lot. And big shout out to people in the chat.